Well, how did Chris make some shots this game? I mean, he's been playing solid, but I was just hoping my guy gets the ball in the bucket, gets the legs underneath him on that jumper. You know,
This was the day. Yeah, 6 for 9.
Yeah, 2 for 3 for 3. You feel me? He don't want to shoot unless he can, really shoot lights out. You feel me? That's the real point guard right there. Excuse that 20 or so missed threes to start the season.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's the kind of him. He probably was feeling that more than anybody else. Like,
yep.
Just like, I don't think anybody on the team was feeling all that much because they were just playing well with him. So who cares at this point? But yeah, he was feeling it. So it's nice to see him get it going.
Nice to have another psychopath on the team. 17, 6, and 5 off the bench, though. That's solid.
No, that's the thing. It's kind of the same thing as working. Like, he's been really good, and the bench has been really good. Like, Steph's been amazing. Bench has been, outside of like a couple of bad nights, like it's been pretty good, pretty consistently. But these starters, man, Draymond's the only one that kind of gets a pass right now because he's technically working his way back. He's honestly been kind of solid on offense, to give him credit by Draymond standards.
Yeah.
But everybody else, man, you want to talk about
Wiggins?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. We want to talk about Drew Wiggs.
Man,
it's been a rough start to the year for my guy.
He only played 22 minutes.
Yeah, that's the thing. He hasn't played more. Oh, somebody said that. I heard that. He hasn't played more than 30 minutes yet this year.
Oh, damn.
And
big chill.
I feel like he's maybe closing half, maybe a little over half the games, but he's had at least 3 nights. I feel like I remember at least this one definitely being one of them that he didn't close. Like, he didn't play into the fourth really much at all. So we'll see. It's something that you can feel. It's interesting with the Warriors, right? Like them and the Mavericks. We'll get to this in a little bit. The Warriors are in an interesting spot because they're playing well, or they're winning games. But it's been the clutch wins. And it's been like, even this game was probably closer than you wanted it to be. So like, they're winning, they're doing well, and it's been all on the road. So you can't complain at all. But I want to see what the offense looks like.
I want to see. Well, that's the thing. Draymond came back. I feel like we need to see Wiggins with Chris Paul more, if that can happen. Because I feel like even at the beginning of the season, Wiggins was struggling, but Chris had an emphasis on getting him involved early. I feel like at least the first few games that I watched, and just a quick shift, I guess, and. Just the adjusting thing. Try not to overreact because we did get a couple big new pieces, and it's just an adjustment. As long as he good, down the line,
4 points. Oh boy, it's hard to say. I feel like I said at the beginning, kind of one of the first episodes, of like, Wiggins, he's a disappear kind of guy, not necessarily I don't know if the bad play jump, he's not the 2 turnovers. Like, I don't think he's like a 6 turnover a game guy. He's not like getting killed on defense kind of guy, like glaring liability. Like, he's just kind of he can just kind of, what we used to say with Harrison Barnes, out there getting cardio. Out there getting cardio, and it's like, he's out there getting cardio, and he can guard a lot. He can hold his own on defense, and he'll have probably nights like this where it could be, he could feel the same way, I think, in a 10-point night as he can in a 4-point night with him, as far as it just felt like he wasn't out there impacting the game. And I'd say I think it's interesting to hear y'all talk about it, because for me, even just looking at this is so encouraging about this team. It's just that really it's the 5, but the 4 on the bench, that Gary, Moody, Chris, and then Kuminga, like, having those 4 players all on the bench is just great. Yeah, it makes me feel really good about this team, or as good as I can about this team. And then that simple just Kuminga Wiggins swap, even hearing Jordan talk, is just like, that could be, doesn't even have to be a full season thing. And I think they could think they can play this. I think it's going to be set up pretty well. Like, as hard as things were for Steve last year, I think things will be kind of easy to flow into this year, where he's already not playing Wiggins 30 minutes a game, just to start the season. So if Kuminga, and I don't even think it's not, we talked a lot about Kuminga and Moody, but I feel like it's the GP2 thing and everything you're saying about the fourth quarter. It's like, no, this Gary Payton II can be on the court at any given time if he needs to be on the basketball court, and that's what really kind of shows you that we can just really play around with this roster now that we have him and Chris on the bench and Steph in the starting lineup. So just swap this. You got four solid guys along Steph right there in the starting lineup. You got four solid guys next to Chris in the bench lineup, and you can play around with this in the season.
And even in this game, right? And that's the interesting thing with Wiggins, right? Is that you had the Steph, Clay, Dre closed out. Like once they got out there in the fourth quarter, they closed out the game, and it was with two different groups. Right, the first group it was with
Moody.
It was with Kuminga, and it was with. Must have been, yeah, I think it might have been Moody. Yeah, it wasn't Wiggins, so it must have been Moody
Dario?
and Kuminga. Nah, they haven't done the Dario with the big yet, with Draymond or Looney yet.
Okay.
Dario hooping.
That's the other one that's hooping. That's what I'm saying.
he
It's a
is
real
hooping,
10-man squad.
And then they just like, oh, it's like, this is interesting to close with no Chris and no Wiggins. And then he brought in Chris and GP2. That same group, the same three. And then, Looney was the fifth. That's what it was. I'm sorry. Looney was out there. It was Looney, Moody,
Looney, Kuminga,
Draymond, Clay,
Steph,
and then they swapped out
Kuminga.
Yeah, swapped out Kuminga and
Looney. It went small.
Yeah, it went small. But yeah, just like they kind of can take advantage of all of those pieces. Like, and they kind of did even without Wiggins. That's where it gets interesting for Wiggins, man. It's just like, yeah, that's interesting for Wiggins if he starts losing time as a starter and losing time as a finisher, where the minutes kind of necessarily coming from. But I do think it makes a lot of sense, right? Like, Andrew Wiggins in the second unit isn't even something that he's not used to because they were using him in that role a lot the last couple of years too. Like, he was kind of out there with the second unit a lot. And I like just for him to get his offense going is probably a way to get his rhythm in. And I think him playing with Chris would be really beneficial. Like, he might need Chris in that role a little more than Kuminga right now. Feels like Kuminga's got a good flow with Steph.
That's the beauty, I guess, the benefit. The riches that they built, I guess, with going in with the Chris Paul roster is like, you can swap this, just get a whole different looks, kind of like with Kuminga and Moody by swapping them out. And like, it seems like Kuminga, anybody can flow with Steph, so it feels like if Wiggins needs to switch it up, you have something pretty rare with Chris Paul on the bench to give him to find a rhythm with. And with Wiggins, man, it's that thing is just like, it doesn't take much. It's not even like maybe it's a little bit of like a flicking the switch and he plays a little harder or whatever it is, but also just, making shots and making a couple more plays a game, and then he's out there, and it's so easy for him to be, I think, one of the higher impact players on the team, on any given night. It's still, I guess that's where it's hard for me to worry, I guess. It's just what it looks like when it's bad. And I think they could benefit from, could see Steve doing that, mixing, even if it's not the straight mixing of the starting Kuminga or however back-to-backs and rest stuff goes. But I think they can get some minutes with Wiggins and Chris, and I definitely want to see more Kuminga Steph stuff. Yeah, always.
There's a lot of shots on I feel like it's just a lot of we're just really that deep. Just like I don't know how much players shot over or 8 or more shots. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Everybody took at least 5. No, Draymond took 4, but everybody else took 5 shots.
But also, I just love how much Steph getting 26 shots up. Yeah,
17 threes.
That was only funny. It was fun. That's how I knew Steph was really bad. We had one of those in a while where Steph started the game really hot. Yeah, couldn't really make it through the rest of the game, but just kept firing the entire time. Like, I was really back. It's probably good to mention because we're probably guilty of it as everybody. It's like, we start talking about all the other pieces, we forget to talk about how like Steph Curry's just this nigga's just still this nigga's an MVP level player right now. He's playing at I think he's made more threes. He's the first person to make 4 threes in his first 8 games of his season
ever.
Yeah,
this is why.
It's just he said I think he thinks he can break the 400, which would be hilarious if he does.
This getting Chris Paul thing is gonna make this just a crazy season. Steph Curry, Draymond Green about to try to play 78 games.
Draymond could relax.
He ain't going to. He don't know how to do that. He don't know. He's like, man, we going for 403, Steph. Like, I don't need you out there, Draymond. I got this. Draymond, who's gonna pass it to you? I like this step. Get to 32 and 3 assists a game. Really, let's just go for it.
Ridiculous. How old is he? He's born in 1988. 2023. It sounds better when you say it like that.
That's crazy. Not a lot of 80s babies left out there in the NBA. Holding strong in real life. I mean, how good. Y'all just getting started.
Yeah, besides the year.
Man, that's the other MVP if he didn't get hurt. People don't know. Exactly. This man was taking 12.7 threes a game.
We should have known this was coming. He said he was better than Magic before the season started. That surprised me. I don't know why. Like, Steph came out and said that by himself. And I was like, oh, he should have known he was about to be on some shit.
Yeah, it's going full maniac, man.